Your Mike's gonna get a shot. I'm just saying.
Anybody online? All right. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. We want to do roll call. Do that or
Thank you. All right. Bob Olson,
here?
John Nicholson.
Yep. Here.
Steve Bowers.
Here.
Chris Norberg,
Here.
Jim Wetling.
Here. So let's see if we got Jim online. And you.
Yeah, did my name get called? I didn't hear it.
Yes. Here you go.
Oh, sorry, Becky. Yep, Sheila's here.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jim.
If you didn't have
Thank
the
you.
boat motor running in the background, you would have heard us.
It's hard to hear when you're on a boat out in the ocean, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I wish I was.
I didn't know his
Finally-
backyard had a palm tree in it. I guess I overlooked that when I went by.
They changed that out of the quarry or something over there. So. All right. Did anybody get a chance to look the minutes over? Is there any corrections to the minutes? If not, we'll let them stand as read. We'll go to item 3, visitors. Visitors, I think Marilyn was here. Nancy, did you bring a prepared statement? Bring a prepared statement? Kathy, you got anything you want to share with us?
No.
All right. All right, I guess no visitors, our first meeting. Let's start with the reports from committee chairs. Go ahead.
Sure. We had a very short meeting, to say the least. I'll touch on a couple things as we get down to new business, but the one thing that I wanted to bring everybody up to speed on is the sexual harassment training. Talking to Charlie, we are good with the current, in his opinion, with the current training that the state of Illinois had sent out, working with Sikich to make it a little bit more interactive, user-friendly, working with them to update our ordinance that was last established in 2018. So they'll be doing that. Hopefully I'll bring that to the board in January or February. They also have an online interactive course per training that costs $30 per person. That would take it off of our plate. We thought we were gonna have to do that. We were able to push it so we didn't have to do $6,000 this month and then $6,000 here in the next year. So it will cost, we have roughly 150 people, employees in the county, and county board members, we believe, are going to want to take it just to cover our CYA. Yes,
Chris, do we have a time limit on that now? Is it still December 31 or no?
for this year or for?
For this year.
Nope, so as long as everybody did the online version that the state had sent out, Charlie believes that is good. That's his understanding, and my God, if he says it's good, we're good. Yeah, I'm putting it right on.
I had talked to finance about it, and I knew that they had said that that wasn't any good at one time, and that's,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I deferred to our illustrious state's attorney, and
He's
he
a
said
man.
we're good, so. Yeah, so we're good. But moving forward, I do believe this is the direction we want to go. So we'll update the ordinance, and it'll be $30 per person per employee.
So-
Something that we'll do on board.
That'll go out to department heads and they'll be responsible.
I'm working on trying to find the email to get it to Becky to collect email addresses to have that to them as soon as we pass the ordinance to get that Q1 of 2021.
All right.
And that is all I have.
Any questions for Chris? Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Public Safety met Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., December 9th. Ours also was a short meeting, roll call, approved previous minutes from the previous meeting, comments from the visitors. We went through the claims. I think in the packet of the county board meeting, everything will be a little bit more detailed in explanation. I do have a couple of things that we added. Weren't really under new or old business, but it was just more of a conversation. Fresh my mind, Charlie. We didn't go over that much. We did as far as the abandoned properties. We had some good comments on that.
Sure, yeah.
Under the abandoned properties.
There was
there-
that progress on the one on Palmyra.
Yes. At the old Eller Wiley or Willie or however they pronounce it, it appears that demolition has started on that.
Correct.
There's been somebody seen there with a tractor and a bucket starting to tear it down.
Woo-hoo, about time.
Old Matera, well, I call it Matera Supper Club. Some of us are here are in the age bracket that will remember that, but at 251 and 30, we're kind of at a standstill on that as far as what direction we want to go with it. And right now, if we decide to take action on it, it's going to cost the county an exorbitant amount of money to demolish that building. So an ongoing attempt will be made to contact somebody, you know, a relative or somebody that we can get to come in and take care of that. Unless somebody else decides to take care of it on their own as things have been done in the past. So
We could pass a hat around, collect money.
I got to keep my hat on my head for other reasons.
Did John comment on the wells? There's 2 uncapped wells there. Health department had fixed about. Did he comment on?
He did not comment on that. No.
I think we need to get them capped and move forward. That's the most dangerous thing you can have out there.
Health department was gonna do something. I don't, they hadn't done anything to get.
One of them supposedly wasn't an active well, but if there's still a well shaft there, it's an issue, whether it's.
Assuming they're submersible pumps, so
One topic that came up was replacement of new tasers for discussion. Quite pricey on that situation. I forgot to write down the individual cost on them, but they have to replace them all. They're all about 15 years old. Life expectancy on the tasers are 10 to 12, depending on how they're used. So will come about in the next month or so. The kitchen equipment that was put on hold as far as purchasing it and having it installed was held because of the warranty on it. It is now in place and the sheriff discussed it, did not have a claim to turn in on it for a total price. However, he asked me what we thought he should do, and I said to give it to finance and discuss it in finance. Now, whether he didn't, okay, he didn't have, all right, good. The courthouse security here, I believe, is to begin here within a few days if it hasn't had already, excuse me, as far as locking the doors during the day. At Monday, okay, and we'll run through at this time, run through the end of January. So it'll be a little bit more challenging for anybody to just randomly access the courthouse. And other than that, that's all I have.
Hey,
Bob?
Zach, is it? Yes, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, just got a quick question for Mike. There was a concern that was brought up with the zoning board meetings that we did not have a deputy present to provide security, while people were coming in. Where we had roughly about 45 people at the either present on Zoom or present in the building, divided up, in the back room and whatnot. And we did not have any security provided. Especially after the meeting was over and D was closing up. So just, I didn't know what the avenue there was, and that situation was mentioned to me by one of the zoning board members.
Okay, I'll make contact with the sheriff and discuss that and see what can be done on that.
I think Charlie and me met with the sheriff this week early in the week, and Charlie, I think you told him, what did you tell the sheriff? If you felt the need, you'd call the city or the county?
Oh, so when we discussed it, we've not really had historically any problems in the past with some of the major petitions that are coming through. So what I told the sheriff was, on that first night, we see how many people show up, and if there's going to be any issues, it's usually going to be that first night of a petition anyway. And after that, as far as I'm concerned, as long as everybody's comfortable with it, if any issues come up, we can contact the Dixon Police Department or the sheriff's office, and they can respond.
I guess my response to that, Charlie, is that we were informed some time ago as far as security that the sheriff is responsible for the security. And I guess if the building's open and everybody's up here for a meeting and there's nobody downstairs and for some reason the doors wouldn't be secured, we have a security issue.
And that's something that the sheriff would be responsible for. He has the care and custody of the courthouse. If he decides he wants to have a bailiff here during the day, at night, however, I can't tell him what to do with his people.
Why don't you talk to the sheriff? And
I'll talk with him and just see. I'm sure that there's a way to have the door secured because they've got locks on them, but security is security. And if he wants to be responsible, I'll discuss it with him and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Jim, you want to give finance report?
Yeah, we met this morning, and Paula Myers gave the monthly financial report. Just touching on the new program is live with the exception of payroll, am I correct? Okay, and that sounds good. Dave came in, Bowers came in and gave us an update on what we've got going. Projects, costs on, what money we got with the land and everything here and across the street. A lot rolling here in this county. Paula said on the COVID-19 effects, it really hasn't really bothered us too much. We've received, we're going to 540,000. I think it's 540. Bob, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Eventually, we've got about. I think we have 350 of that yet, or we don't have it yet. I guess that's what it is.
170 so far, I think.
170. Yeah.
Roughly.
Okay. Charlie gave us an update on the litigation update where CIRMA stands with it, and also too, this was discussion only. We talked. About Sikich, our HR company. We have a new contract with them, which is less than what we had last year. But they've been doing a lot of work at the health department. And I mean a lot. Last month it was over $6,000. So it's our intention to have them share. We have our own departments. They're on their own special levy. So I'll be contacting the board and Kathy, and we're going to have them share in the bill with their portion because of all the work going on over there. And so that's, we're going to be moving on with that today or tomorrow. The sexual harassment training, I tried to explain it, but Chris did a wonderful job. Where we're at with that. The Logan County requested our jail equipment, Mike, that you were referring to. The sheriff informed us today. You're going to let them have it, and at no expense to us. They're going to come, they're going to take it out, they're going to haul it. So it's no expense. Also, for the new kitchen out there at the jail, we've already got some of it purchased, but he needs another $8,900. And we found it best to take that money from meals and food. And if we need to adjust that down the road, we will, because the public safety, we're touching below what we need to be, about 68,000, I think. Bob's that right? 68, 70,000. So rather than wait till that bill up, we'll just go ahead and pull it out of there for his equipment for that. And I don't know what the equipment is. He's got a estimate there of $8,900. So that's about it. Any questions? Thanks.
You need any motion or approval on this at all?
Out of his report, I don't think. No. I think you get, they approved the report in finance, the finance report. Did she give you an outlook on last year today, Paula? Did she say how the year ended up roughly, or?
Got it here.
I think it's around 530,000 to the good. I think it was actually.
538, Bob.
Yep. Thank
Yeah.
you. So, with all the problems we had with COVID and everything that went on, and actually it's actually $1 million flip because we were going to pull 600,000 out of capital. We didn't have to do that. So
Right.
what an excellent year with the problems the county has had.
And also too, we got a big shot in there in the capital plan too. So that's,
I mean, look at all the work we're doing.
we
in
don't,
capital.
Yeah. But what I think we can do is move some of that money. And that way we can move it in, we can move it to capital. That way, if need be, we can get at it, and otherwise we wouldn't be able to use it. So yeah, it looks like a good 2021 to me. I'm just back into this. I was on this committee, but back into it. So
you're telling me that Dave and I have money to put into IT for these 2 rooms? Is that
I don't know.
what I just heard?
Was there an echo in the room? I don't know.
I think,
Stuff is terrible.
well, thanks, Jim, for the finance report.
Okay.
Don, you got something you want to share, anything?
No, not really. It's getting covered.
Dave?
Properties met on Tuesday. Just flipping through the old business. Sneeze guards are all done in this building except for the treasurer's office, and we're finishing up there. The countertops have been installed. Working with Dixon Glass to finish up the rest. The shovel-ready grant application for the demo of the old jail is still pending, not approved or denied, and we really don't have an inclination at this point. The land VoIP upgrade is ongoing at the new courthouse, lots, animal control, county highway. Our priority is going to be getting the health department, EOC, state's attorney's office, and the judge's office kind of is the top of the phone implementation. There's a lot of pieces that have to come together. The fiber between these 2 buildings is in progress of being installed. It's installed up to the outside of the building here. Not sure on the other end exactly where they stand. I'll need to get an update on that. They're going to put in the new network switches in this building and the new courts building starting Monday, which is a big step towards where we need to be. And all the contracts are awarded with both FISIC and Cindio to complete the project. And we'll be updating everybody as we go along. But the priorities as stated. New carpets zoning was done and in 2020. The pit remodel is in progress for the assessor's office. That will be their new conference room, and there'll be carpeting put in there. The other areas that we would like to accomplish are the election area, Judge Klon's courtroom, the county clerk's and treasurer's office. So we'll be working through that. The high density file system was installed and completed for the state's attorneys, long-term storage, and also for their offices. And that's, I think, a big addition and improvement for the office and for the long-term storage situation. What we had there was not good, and what we have now is very good. So the LOTS Mass Transit District Advisory Committee that will be established, and the goal there is to get to a resolution for establish a mass transit district. Right now, I think Greg is projecting that would likely be due to fiscal year and that type of thing. Unless we could make this happen rather quickly, it would be a 2022 type situation. So there may be an opportunity depending on how quickly we can react. But right now, that's kind of where he's projecting that. New business, we did establish an ad hoc committee for the review of the new solar ordinance. We were looking for any further enhancements to that. I think we accomplished what was the big concerns. And I was going to say It's Chris, myself, Mr. Sheeline, and Mr. Copine, and also, I think one person from ZBA. Correct?
Yep.
What's that committee for, Dave?
Last full board meeting, we implemented the new ordinance for solar, which addressed
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
setbacks and all of those things.
No, I couldn't hear the first part of what. it
Yeah,
was.
because,
Okay.
because it was done, I say, we just want to get and look and see if there's any further enhancements that we
Oh,
would like to do.
that's fine.
on it.
I didn't hear the first.
Yep.
Thank you.
Dave, quick question on that.
Mhm.
When do you, I don't know who's going to chair that or who's going to be in charge of setting up the meetings, but I'm assuming you're going to want to start doing that.
I'd want Dave to chair it.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't see a reason not to get it done.
Well,
I
at least start talking, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a big, I would say, I don't think it'll be a huge change. What we have done has been a pretty significant change. I don't necessarily see the rest of it being a huge change, but we'll work through it. But I would agree, let's do it right away.
I just brought it in mind, it's a public meeting, so make sure it's posted.
Yep.
and everything.
Yep.
I know you know that, Mr. Lane.
Yep, no, I thank you. We do want to, I mean, that's part of the purpose of it is really to get that involvement. Lots will be contracting a part-time bookkeeper that's fully reimbursable and will help with bookkeeping there. The properties committee also reviewed the sheriff's request for the local county request for used jail equipment, and had passed that along to finance. Greyhound single audit is in progress and the report was shared. There's a zoning request coming from zoning as listed for a farmer's market use of a property. And that's all I have unless there's questions.
Comment. John Finfrock is consented to fill in the committee for the lots, MTA,
Oh, okay.
and he's going to bring someone that he feels is qualified to table with him.
From IT.
That's the way it was. No. The IT is totally different.
Oh,
committee.
you're right, yes.
This is the lots,
Yep,
MTD
yep.
thing, and John Finfrock was invited because it's Lee Oval Transportation.
Mhm.
He is going to bring along somebody he feels is qualified to help, and they'll have a seat at the table. That's kind of how we have it structured. And as far as the IT goes, Larry Callant, if the IT guy from Ogle County has consented to be on the IT hiring committee, so.
I think that's an excellent, it's hard to have that expertise, and I think that will be an
He's
excellent.
very successful with them too. I mean,
Yep.
John Finfrock couldn't stay good enough.
And I know Judy also had a lot of good to
Yep.
say.
Really good.
All right. Any more comments, Mike?
I'm just, the mind has left me for the meeting. On the claims, do we include the mileage per diem from the department heads on that? Did I miss that?
Talking about the county board mileage and per diem. Becky would have those sheets. The mileage and per diem.
Did I miss that?
Yep, that's coming around the other way.
It got stuck on my end here. I didn't see it sitting there, Mike, sorry.
Glued to the table, right, Jim?
That's the most important one, Jim, right there. So
I was going to say that's what you want. You know, that's
I'm
beer
glad
money.
somebody found it.
That's beer money.
All right, any more questions or comments? All right, we're gonna go down to the monthly claim sheets. Sheila?
Did you forget committee there, Bob?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sorry.
That's all right. I know you guys have forgotten about me down here. The Transportation Solid Waste Committee meeting met on Tuesday at 8:00. Usual suspects. I appreciate the new members on my committee are all veterans, so my meeting was not fast. Usually you get new members and they don't say much, but I had guys that were veterans and wanted to talk. So we had our claims, and then the report from Mr. Anderson. We had a discussion last month in regards to the policy in regards to snow removal and what we would do with trucks and whatnot. Dave reported that he did talk to Sikich, and they do have a plan in place that will not involve having trucks go home unless it's just absolutely necessary. He distributed the project letting schedule, and that negotiations are nearing an end for the road use agreements of Big Sky and Shady Oaks. Then there's also in front of you from the committee is the resolution to reappoint David as solid waste coordinator. And the last thing we did, and Charlie, did Dave talk to you at all yet?
No, sir.
Okay, so part of that discussion was that the committee wanted to review the contract with the landfill, and also get an update on where we are as far as any future plans and with connection with a new landfill or anything of that sort. So I guess Charlie, if you could put on your agenda of coming to the meeting so we can talk about the current host agreement and get everybody solid waste committee back up to speed on that. And let's see. And I think that's all I have. So I always forget, do I move the claims here? I know I moved the claims at full county board, but
Do it in the
I
monthly
don't
meeting.
okay.
Hey,
That's
Jim?
my report. Thanks.
Jim, give a talk to Dave Anderson on that solid waste situation. Hear me?
What's that, John?
Chat with Dave Anderson on that solid waste situation.
Well, that's we asked, as we discussed, David gave what he knew, and then the committee decided that they wanted to do a full or a review of the host agreement that is in presently with Republic, and then have any updates in regards to a second landfill.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, I don't have any problems. I think that's due diligence, go through the current landfill agreement and study that, make sure it's being honored. But any more landfills, I think we should wait till the declaratory judgment is handled before we even discuss anything moving forward. Charlie? Would you agree? Yes.
Okay,
All right.
fair enough. That's fine.
All right.
Just reporting what the committee told me to.
So let's move on then. Alrighty, we got monthly claims sheet, which passed around. Everybody got a chance to look at it. I'd entertain a motion to approve it.
Oh, second.
We got John first and Mike second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried. I have no petitions coming to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I have got a petition coming from Zoning Board of Appeals from Zoning Board. Do you want me to read it, Kathy? Is that what you normally do?
You can, or I've got it on the agenda already for county board, so they can just.
Okay.
The county board agenda.
All right. Thank you, because I don't know if I can read all that right now. So that's going to be on the agenda. We're good with that. We don't need to vote on that, or we'll do the whole agenda when we get done.
You'll approve the whole agenda at the end.
Okay. Let's move down. I got no petitions coming to the Planning Commission. I've got no petitions coming from the Planning Commission. Announcements and acknowledgements. We do anything with that?
I have had no requests for anybody to speak at county board, so I really have nothing under announcements for that.
But they can come that day and sign a sheet to talk for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Old business, number 11, litigation invoices. Did we cover them in finance today at all, or?
Yeah, we went, Marilyn, I believe Charlie is doing some checking on that, where we're at with that.
Yep.
Am I right? Or did I miss something?
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting a connection from CIRMA saying this is what is exactly we know we will cover. We haven't gotten that letter from them yet saying what it is they'll cover and what they still want to talk about.
So there's no reason to have that on our monthly meeting then?
not for full county board.
Yep, thank you. New business, we got the sexual harassment training. We talked about that, we discussed it. Do we need that on the full county board?
I'll give an update in my report, but I don't believe there's any action items that we need to address at this time.
All right. So let's go to B, the IT administrator hiring committee. I think we set that this week. Who would know who we put on there?
I got it.
Okay.
It's guy from Lee County, Allen,
Ogle County.
or Ogle County, excuse me, Allen, Horseman. Yeah.
Who's in on that?
Well, it's Larry Callender's guy from Lee County, or Ogle County. He's the IT director up there. Jim Horseman, who is the ITGIS coordinator, our county. Danielle Allen. Wendy is on that.
Oh, and Brian.
Brian,
That's
yes.
it.
And Brian Britt.
Yep. Do we got a list? Anybody take a list of that? So we got it. So,
Got it?
well, so we know it this time. All right. I don't know if there's any reason to have that on the full board. Do you want to put that on there, the agenda?
Already done that.
I think it came out of administrative services, so I don't really think it needs to be on the full
Okay.
board agenda.
I'm just breaking stuff.
Copier for new zoning office. I think they handled that this morning in finance.
Yeah. We're gonna-
Sickage,
That probably didn't have to be
no, I don't.
on the board.
Sickage billing. I don't know what that was about. We put it on there earlier.
I think that was Jim.
That
Jim
was
had
a,
talked about the health department.
decided to have the health department share the billing.
Sure, okay.
I also have something in regards to that. Bob is going to be signing a contract with Sickich for the HR, sexual harassment training contract too. So I don't know if that needs to be part of it, but
I think that's normal business
it's
or,
just normal business, but
Yep.
an update to you.
And does that need to be on that sickage discussion as long as we had it in finance and we decided the way we're gonna go? I
I don't
don't
think,
think so. Either.
Charlie,
One question on the sickage billing, if we end up having a large expense on the sexual harassment training, now it's great that we don't have to have that done here at the end of the month, save that $6,000. But I verified with Paula that line item only has $30,000 in it. So just need to be aware that if we end up having any further expense in there with that line item's pretty well blown.
I think on the new contract that John negotiated, I think we're at 22,000,
23.9.
23.9 for the year. So we got some room. It just depends on how the year goes. And if the health department shares in their cost, I think it will be close. And we got contingencies if we get in a bind later on down the
Yeah,
line.
there's a cap on ours.
One of
Understand
the
that,
reasons-
Bob, but I think it just goes to show that health department needs to pull their own freight on that, especially if they're using it, you know.
Absolutely. The question could be said, does the county pay for the sexual harassment training or do we pass that on also? Or do we just pass on litigation cost to them?
To who? Sickich?
Health department.
Oh,
Because if we want to be fair for everybody, I think we should pay for the sexual harassment training, the county board, and then only,
Yeah, then we could do the employee end of it and then we could.
Yeah.
When they have their work that they're doing over there, then we'll share that cost. That's what
I would make sure we spell that out in a letter to them, how we're going to move forward.
is that a minute question? I mean, I was going to explain to Jim Sheeline the reasoning behind getting sexual harassment was originally we were told that if you took the state-sponsored sexual harassment training, it would be good and it was free. However, about a month ago, we determined that it's not what they want. And so that's why we're going to Sickage now at $30 a piece, Chris.
Yes, sir.
We were trying to defer that cost. So that's what happened there actually. And I agree that the health department people should pay their $30 or the health department budget should pay the $30. The contract that was worked out with Sickage is actually a very good deal. We use approximately, or will use in fiscal 2020, about 120 hours. That's what this one was set up on. And our rate is $195 an hour versus $295 an hour. And then the overage will be billed at that 195. Hopefully there won't be any overage because there were upfront costs to kind of get a few things squared away that probably won't reoccur. So I think Sickage is a pretty good done deal, and it was what was budgeted originally.
I think they're helping Chris with the handbooks too, right? Sickage?
Yeah, they're gonna help with the handbook, a couple ordinances, just stuff.
Charge him for that. Well, that'd be part of that 120 hours.
Yeah, I believe goal is to get the two handbooks merged here, the health department and the county health books, so, or handbooks. That's future conversation.
Good luck with that.
I got a question on that, John. The limitation was 23.9, you said,
Not a limitation, that's the contract.
or that's the cap?
That's what we will pay for 120 hours.
Okay, what,
On over
what,
120 hours.
right,
Then we get billed $195 an hour,
195.
$100 an hour less.
Less, yeah, it was
Than the normal
295.
cost will be.
Okay,
But we only used, like I say, early on in the when we first hired Sickage, we used more hours because there were some things needed to be ironed out that are not probably going to reoccur, at least hopefully they'll think it's going. And that was billed out at 295, so we've got a much better contract now. And it's based on what we used or would have used in fiscal year 2020.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bob, if I can jump in real quick, the reason that I was telling Mr. Norberg that I thought the HR sexual harassment training would be appropriate for this year was just based off of a conversation with Judy Truckenbrod, who had a conversation with Sickage, who said that we were good for this year. So that's what's making my determination.
We would never get it done by the first anyhow.
Yeah.
You know, we're-
But we gave it a best shot.
Yes.
Then we proved that it wasn't what we thought it was.
Or would we just can't make the,
Typical state of Illinois.
all right, let's go on down to E, Zoom meeting requirements. Chris, you wanted this on the,
Yes, so this came out of, with Kathy, they had a conference call, I believe. There are some requirements for Zoom meeting that we aren't necessarily following. We need to be in person, correct, Kathy? That we have to be able to see your face is what it really comes down to. So to get credit for the meeting, to be part of the meeting. And I use the example that if I'm blacked out and we're voting for something, I can have my wife say, aye, just as easy as I can. So you never know who is there. I think that's a good practice that we need to start. We'll inform everybody at the meeting to make sure we're face to face. If they do not have the technology to Zoom from a face-to-face standpoint, or that we can see them, they can see us. We'll address that with an IT. There may be some, we'll might have to think outside of the box, but that I believe does need to go on the agenda just so we can call it out in the meetings. So
I'm going to also have Becky send out a meeting or a memo to everybody, email stating that if you're going to be on Zoom, you're going to be on at 8:45. So we're ready to go at 9 o'clock.
So that's the other thing that Bob and I had talked about, that I'm a big stickler in starting meetings at 00. So we want guys to try to get on it 15 minutes before. Our IT department knows this. That way, if they're 10 minutes before, we're 10 minutes early. So a couple of those things just to try to get these meetings moving along better. And it's something that as we look into changing after COVID's over, the rules and procedures, I know Judy gave her opinion but we as a board currently need to decide what's going to be required, in-person meetings, not in-person meetings, and how to address that. So that's something.
One other thing I was just going to say, long-term, I'd like to see somehow that we relieve IT of the responsibility of doing all these coordinations of the meetings. I think we're tying up an awful lot of IT resources that we as chairs or someone should be able to pick up that's attending the committee in person, wherever possible. If we can't do it 100%, we understand. But I know we're tying up a lot of hours with these guys, and I don't think it's anything that we shouldn't be able to handle.
I think the simplicity of it, it's Zach's having to sit there and watch that.
Yep.
It might be something that can fall on Becky or Bob or myself or whoever.
Whoever's chairing.
I totally agree with you
Yep.
there. Maybe at the larger meetings, we have to have somebody watching, but there's nobody online. Who's that?
Alice.
Okay.
I think as we go forward, I think we're gonna get more acclimated to it. It'll be easier for us to do
Yep.
it. And I think we, each committee can maybe specify one or two individuals that can do it without, only if they can do it and still be part of the meeting. I mean, sometimes it removes you when you're trying to.
Yeah, right now we have 5 people on most committees, some have 6. So we should still be able to work through claims with even if there's 3 people
And
there.
maybe the committee chair asks somebody from another committee to come run that for them too. I think we
That's,
need to look at.
that's the way it's always been, that the committee chair has the ability to appoint somebody to fill in, at least get a majority or at least assist with the claims. What is your process for going forward? I mean, are we going to continue to have committee meetings in here?
I kind of like it because I think we did it just because ZBA is here every night. I didn't want to see Zach moving stuff back and forth. But we're on microphones. I think we probably understand things better. I don't know, it's something we can toss around. I like the atmosphere in there better, of course, but if Becky's got to go through a recording, at least we're all on the mic, and I think the recording would be better.
Yeah, and I actually like it better in here. Zach and I talked after our meeting to actually, we talked about trying to do a Band-Aid, even another Band-Aid on a Band-Aid, right? For that office. And right now with the technology challenges we have, Zoom, COVID, so on and so forth, I don't see a reason why we have to not have our meetings in here. It saves him a ton of time. He wants to even say something, so he's excited.
The big difference is the audio quality for the Zoomers and also on the live stream in here, because the audio is going direct into the Zooming as opposed to when you're in there, because you don't have a PA system to hook into in that room. So I've had at least a half a dozen board members, et cetera, comment on how much better it sounds when we're in here.
I heard that Charlie was telling me that it's come a long way, so maybe that's what we need to do. We can still look at it, John.
I was going to say, I thought I
As
had-
the
Go ahead, Jim.
Sorry, John. Well, I was just saying, as a Zoom member that's on here now, I'll tell you, the sound quality, Zach, you're exactly right. I mean, I can hear everybody. It's very clear, and it makes being part of the meeting that much more effective.
Jim, real quick, how much background noise are you picking up? Like if Kathy's talking to me or Charlie's talking to Bob or whatever it may be.
So like what you just talking right there, you're good. It's better when you're in the mic. The one breakdown is like when Becky it was Becky that was asking for roll call. She wasn't mic'd. I heard a murmur and that was about it. So in here, everybody just has to be in the mic.
Okay, thank you. So I think if we send out an email beforehand and then we can hit it again to reinforce what the requirements are going to be and go from there.
Jim.
And maybe I wasn't paying attention, but on our votes, in regard, let's say a resolution, we got a couple. Did I miss that, or are we going to have a roll call on about everything we do? Is that correct? According to the.
I'll let Charlie
or
talk
not?
about that.
I don't know that you need to have a roll call on everything.
Okay.
If you're doing, I'll just give examples. If you're doing a motion to accept claims, payout claims, I think you can do that by a voice vote. If you're doing a motion to adjourn, I don't know that you need a roll call vote for an adjournment. So if it's something that's going to be the passing of a resolution or the passing of an ordinance, then yes, I think you need to do a roll call vote.
Okay, good. Thanks. That's all I can.
Kathy, I'll get with you before the meeting and we'll coordinate which are roll call and so you'll help me with that.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
If I can just jump in real quick too, I guess I should have prefaced that too. When you're going to do the all in favor, you should also always do the all opposed. That way you give the opportunity for anybody.
Yes, and I missed that a lot, so I apologize. One other thing that on that memo that goes out to Becky, if you're on Zoom, I want you to state your name and then your vote or whatever you're doing. It just makes it easier for everybody to coordinate what we're doing. So,
I think, yeah, Mr. Valley does it
yes.
quite a bit, and I think it just makes, it flows a little bit easier. At least we know who's talking, so.
Even if you make a motion or you second a motion, it just let clear for.
Well, in reality, and this is just my opinion, that if we're on Zoom, try not to make firsts and seconds. It's so much easier to have the people in person. Otherwise, we got people, I first, I second, when we got people here. When it comes to a first and a second, it's pretty easy to, as long as there's 2 people here, 3 people here, we can cut out a lot of background noise. But those are things that we can talk about. Not necessarily mandatory, but a suggestion. So Mike, did you have something?
Yeah, Chris, I did. As far as the video and the requirement through Zoom, what about outside civilians who are participating in the meeting does that apply to them also?
Outside would not probably require them because especially with the current COVID concerns, because at the end of the day, I really don't, not that I don't care who's talking, but I need to make sure that it's you who's voting. That's what it really comes down to. Yes, you can get on there and say, hi, my name's Carrie Norberg, and a black screen and I wouldn't know any wiser, but in reality, as an elected official, we're really trying to, this is kind of, in how I understand it, is we're trying to babysit us as elected officials, not the civilians that are, the citizens that are talking.
Run into more problems if we expected the citizens of the county to come in on video.
I disagree. I think I think the citizens of the county probably are a little bit more technology savvy than some of the board members. So
I'm sorry, I'm in the minority.
No, your system is very well set up.
Yeah,
So
you do good. All right.
So Chris, you want this on the county board agenda?
I do believe it needs to be. We can have this kind of same conversation that we're having right now. I'm happy to lead it. But if we send out the memo, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to read the memo. It is not going to be a change that's going to be instantaneous for a lot of board members either. So it definitely, I believe it needs to be on there. It shouldn't take a long time for conversation. And it looks like a pretty short agenda that we can at least have something on new business.
Sure. I think when Zoom, we first were allowed to Zoom and the Open Meetings Act, I think we all thought it was a Band-Aid for a month or 2. Now I think we need to get better at it. And this is going to be here to stay for a while. So we need to work at it and try to make it flow better.
And Bob,
Yeah.
Bobby, just a reminder, we do not have the ability to Zoom down at the highway department office. I don't know if that is something that can be alleviated, Zach, or what. And back when I try to do the meeting remote, I was trying to be on FaceTime, and that was had very mixed results.
That
So
don't work.
Yeah.
Zach, you want to speak to that?
I'm assuming, well, that's a hot one. I'm assuming you guys don't have any Zoom licenses.
Not that I'm aware of, Zach. In fact, when we were on full lockdown, Dave would come up to the committee, come up here to the courthouse, and that really is a waste of his time to come all the way up to the courthouse for an hour meeting on something that I don't know what the technical aspects would be to get Zoom capability down there at the highway department, but I can't imagine it'd be that much.
A webcam,
We'll work on it.
a microphone, and an internet connection, and then licenses. And the licenses that's going to have to go through the process.
So that
Is
would
that-
have to be a separate license for us to be able to Zoom down in Amboy.
It depends on
different location.
how many people you would want to each individually have Zoom capability. I mean, you can join these meetings without having a Zoom account at all, the public ones.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to know the ID, the meeting ID and the password. You can even join through a browser. If you're wanting to establish your own Zoom where you're hosting and you're doing your own meetings or anything like that, then you would need licensing. Is that clear?
I think let's work on it. We'll get something going on it.
I think there's extra licenses.
There isn't.
There's none.
They're all used right now.
Maxed out.
Yes.
Dave's got something he wants to say.
One thing I would just say too, maybe while we're kind of
Have a
coaching-
chat with Dave Anderson.
while we're coaching these habits for Zoom meetings, just in general, what I'm used to for meetings is that there's only one conversation at a time. And I would say we could improve the quality of our meetings if we squash any conversations that aren't part of the official piece. It just makes it easier for minutes, more professional, and decisions are made better when everybody's listening to what's being presented. And that's just an area. And it's something that you never get perfect, but you want to try to get there. And with new board members coming on board, just getting us all in the habit of, if we have something we need to discuss, wait until somebody's done and discuss it with the whole group.
Dave, I think that's a great point. If you bring that up, that'd be
I can do that.
awesome.
Yeah, I think we'll work on it.
Yep.
Thank you. Let's go down to contracting IT needs. This come up in discussion first of the week. We're down to one IT guy at this moment. And we're got Zoom meetings every night this week and Zoom meetings all this week. So Zach is pulled in all kinds of different directions. We tossed around maybe hiring an intern, college intern or something to come in. We could come in at an hourly rate or something to run Zoom meetings to help us get through this time. We're gonna be down one IT person till maybe mid-January possibility. What's your thoughts as far as doing something like that?
I told Zach today that he was just gonna have to stick around. We extended Mike's vacation and I had to pick him up off the floor. I would agree. We have to find somebody else.
I love the
To
idea.
assist.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead.
I love the idea of hiring a college kid. They get practical experience, go out to SAUC. You should be able to find somebody. And I use all remote learning. And Zach, let's be honest, how hard is it to run a Zoom? It's the fact that you have to be there. It's just getting it rolling. And so I look at it, the complexity of running a Zoom meeting, like what Zach's doing right now, his talents are spent elsewhere better if we have to go and hire.
Part and parcel of what Bob was saying as well about getting some sort of protocol for board members joining at a certain time and like that, because once you get it going, it's going. It's when people come in 10, 15, 20 minutes late, then you have to admit them to your teacher, right?
Correct.
Yep.
I agree. It's too much for one guy. Zach's just going to be exhausted. And if the intern, if there's one available, if you can get a lead on a couple, or whatever, and maybe just a thought, maybe something small other than just a Zoom, we could, maybe squeeze a little help out of him for you that way. I don't know. I could probably look real quick, but I don't know if Mike's budget has anything in there for contractual services or where we could pull it out of, but we can surely find a place because we need some help here from Zach.
The new IT position we're hiring, we've got it down that we're gonna hire first fiscal year. So we're already 2 weeks into it, a month into it. So surely we'll have room in the.
Got it. Okay, Bob. I didn't realize that. Okay, thank
Bob, our
you.
conversation went such though that he's gonna be stretched for at least the next month. And we had talked about possibly contracting out some, Charlie was gonna find out who Judge Ackert had in mind.
I passed that along.
Doug Carlson, his number, I gave that to.
We've got some options. I just wanted to get the feel here and then we'll
I
move
mean, I
forward.
feel we should give somebody with experience some help to Zach.
Yeah.
He's kind of filled 2 jobs at least. And the Zoom is, probably not that tough. I agree with you. Get it to college kid or something like that, but get some experience, some time, looks good on a resume.
Bingo. And Zach just said, like, he's in his previous job, he used people at SAUC. I personally believe that it's something that we can put together a committee right now to go out to SAUC, be in contact with the IT people and find two college kids who are going for computer science or whatever they want, but it looks awesome on a resume and we can chew through them every year because.
Sure. Even if we have a full staff of IT, we don't want our IT technicians running Zoom meetings. They should be doing IT.
They've already put in an 8 or 10 hour day and they don't want to come to night meetings.
Sure. Well, I think we got enough discussion. I think we'll move forward with that if everybody's in agreement.
And you do not want it on the full county board agenda.
I maybe put it on there for transparency. We can talk about it. I can ask one of us to talk, or I can call on somebody and.
Money in budgets, so.
Who's
So-
gonna lead? Who's
Well,
gonna lead
actually, there's
the
money in the budget. I wouldn't put it on there. I think
Okay.
it's a, unless if somebody has a
Nope, I
problem with
just
that.
wanted to make sure, because
Can
if it's
worms.
not on, then you can't do
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
So, okay.
One other thing, I think Tom is with GIS is due back next week. So, and normally he would not be a resource that IT would tap on, but that may be also an alternate for a time period here.
Yep.
We just work with Wendy
Yep, we
talk about that.
We discussed him too.
Yep.
Who wants to reach out to SOC? So like, is that where we want to start? Like,
I think I'm looking at him.
you're looking, you got mirror glasses?
You got that big promotion for there, young man.
I'll reach out to SOC and I may reach out to Zach we'll go from there.
All right.
Get who he wants or.
I've got some names too from Judge Ackert. I'll share with you and we'll go from there. All right.
Bobby?
Yes.
I'm a little, I'm looking at the budget, for this upcoming year budget, and I wasn't part of the when we did the budget and looking at IT, and I didn't look at that close. We do not have a contractual line item in that IT budget. So, just be aware, we've got the 2 salary line items and maintenance, programming, and website and FFE, and that's it.
Well, maybe we should have an open discussion.
Yeah, I think if we're going to make a change and you're going to bring somebody on, I think we better have an open discussion.
You're gonna have to tell, is it a paid internship? Is it a non-paid internship? And I think personally, as Zach said, in my opinion, is you pay the person so that way you can get the better people rather than the person who's just looking to.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be contractual anyhow. I think we'd do it per hour basis.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe it wouldn't, like you said, if there's, you had that included for the IT administrator.
I think it'd be.
Do you have to, and I'm not sure on this one, I'd have to ask Paul or maybe Kathy knows. You have to stick right with that. Can you use any of that salary? In other words, see, like you said, it was in the budget, correct?
Actually,
So,
though,
but I'm in the back of my mind, I don't know if we can use off of that.
actually, I don't know if we can, because I think that's a contingency, that salary that we put in there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So, I guess we got to decide today whether to put that on or not. Let's put it on, and if we don't need it, we'll discuss it and move on.
Okay, how would you like it listed? Assistance for IT department?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Just a sidelight, but
Temporary.
things you might consider is the ZBA zooming, and pass that on to Luke or whoever.
Yeah, and we already talked about that today. Dee's going to start charging more for the Zoom hearings and stuff like that. She's going to get a different fee schedule.
My double it and they'll still pay it. So.
Yeah. Well, don't want to go there, but anyhow, let's put it on.
Bob.
Yes.
Dave.
One other thing I would say is with the phone system, for instance, I'm not sure an intern is going to be a lot of help with some of the things that will have to be decided. And so what I would say, it might be a combination of a professional service that like the judges have been using IDC computers, I believe, or whoever the county has experience with. I believe it's DC. There may be some call for that type of thing as well. And I would, let it up to Zach. He's the one that needs the help, and he needs help that can hit the ground running.
So lots has been using DC for a long time, Dave. So, that Doug or Darren, I don't know which one. There's two.
Yeah, I think it would probably be a combination of things.
Yeah, I think we
Wow. Yes. This is it. I don't know if Charlie slipped away, but
probably had a meeting.
he was talking about a computer service for Judge Ackert. Turns out to be the same one the health department and lots uses. So it's Doug Carlson and DC Computer, and very professional. I've had great luck with him.
Yeah, I think he'd be
Too
good, but
expensive. I
yeah,
think.
he'd be expensive to run our Zoom meetings, but yes.
Yeah, no, that's an intern
No.
would be great for that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be hard.
And the other,
Well, I think we'll talk.
I'd leave that up
Committee.
to Zach.
We'll get approval next week and move forward with it.
Sounds great.
All right. Let's go to appointments. We got a resolution for a solid waste coordinator, Dave Anderson. Definitely want that on the agenda. It's in our packet here. Everybody got okay with the resolution, how it reads? All right, we got a resolution to appoint Jack Scrogstad to the Lee County Board. Everybody good with that? We'll have the raffle report on there. I don't know if there's a need for executive session, but please put it on there, and then if we don't need it, we don't need it. That's usually how I work, and then we're covered.
Yeah, it's a standard slot on the agenda, so.
All right. I guess, how do you normally do it? I've sat in here for a couple of years on this. Would you read us back your proposed agenda and we vote on it, or how do you want to go forward here?
Well, I certainly can. You all have a copy of the agenda as it stood before we came. So the only thing that I have added to the agenda is under new business, I have Zoom meetings and attendance. And then I have added assistance for IT department. So
Anything else we need on there?
We want to call the IT department assistants temporary.
Yes. Yes.
Temporary,
That would help.
okay.
All right. Any more corrections? Anything you want else on there? I think, otherwise I'd entertain a motion to approve that agenda. Yeah, Chris made a motion. Mike seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those against?
And then I will just explain real quick, when you're looking at the agenda, we have the resolution appointing Jack Scrogstad at the beginning of the meeting. That way we can approve his appointment, I can swear him in, and then he will be able to participate in the remainder of the meeting. So that's why that resolution appears at the beginning of the meeting.
All right. Awesome. Okay, he's on two committees. Mike's committee, safety, public safety, and then your committee, admin. So, okay, anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Mike first. John seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.